All right, welcome to the third hour of the Elias Macco Show. You're still got us on your airwaves until noon. Now, we'll begin this third hour by taking a look at the Wellington Basin. Located between Griffintown and Point St. Charles, major redevelopment is being planned for Montreal's Wellington Basin. The goal is to have 2,800 homes built with 1,000 units for social and affordable housing. The plan is still pending approval from the city, but the Canada Lands Company, a federal crown corporation, hopes to get it started by 2025. Christopher Sweetnam-Holmes is on the line from the Canada Lands Company. Hi, Christopher. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
So, what kind of an opportunity does the Wellington Basin represent?
Well, you know what's amazing is really this is at the edge of the downtown of Montreal, at the intersection of the Lachine Canal, next to the iconic spots like the Farine Five Roses sign. And it offers a potential to transform really that part of the city and transform downtown Montreal. You know, we have plans to create pretty unique spaces with creation of a urban beach and a swimmable basin, an artisan district, and a significant amount of housing.
And how far along are we? Is this just the drawing board? How close are we to making that a reality?
Well, we've been working for quite a number of months with the different stakeholders. We do a lot of consultation and engagement. So we're many months in of work with all the parties and with the City of Montreal. The next steps are really, if the city proceeds as planned with an approval of the sector, what they're calling their PDMV, we could be having regulatory changes next year and have shovels in the ground by the end of 2025.
And do we have developers yet, or would that be another part of this process, like a call to offers for a developer to go through with the vision?
Well, it's a good question because Canada Lands Company, we're a federal crown corporation. We act as a land developer on former federal lands, but we're not a builder. Mm-hmm. So we lay out the plan, we get the approvals. We work with all the parties to find something that is, has as much consensus as possible. We built the streets, we built the parks, and then we, through a public process, will select nonprofit builders for the affordable housing part, private builders for the private housing, piece by piece to build out. But we're not at the point yet of selecting developers. That'd be something that would start at the earliest later in 2025, Elias.
Just looking at the latest plans, designs, vision, I would say, before we get to those later stages, one thing I took note, right? And being a longtime baseball fan, used to work for the Expos, okay? Il n'y a pas un stade de baseball. I don't see the baseball stadium anymore. And a little while back, a couple of years ago, when we would look at renderings, there would be a baseball stadium in the mix. Is that off the table now?
Yeah, there's no baseball stadium that's part of this plan now, Elias.
Yeah, and can that change, or is that a fait accompli now? This will go 100%. Every single speck of land will go to housing and housing alone.
Look, we know that we're in a housing crisis in Montreal, and a big priority for Canada Lands and the City of Montreal is the creation of housing. So here, our number one priority is the creation of housing. That's why we're aiming for the 2,800 units and 1,000 units of affordable housing, because it is the number one priority. So there's not going to be a baseball stadium, but there are going to be some pretty amazing elements of this project. And like we mentioned before, some great public spaces, including a place for Montrealers to connect with the water in the center of the city.
And that's definitive, by the way? That's like if a developer comes along 2 years, hey, we're going to do it, we'd like to include it. Could they change the minds? Or is this now a fait accompli? Because, for a lot of people in the city, they viewed that location as one of the only spots in the city where that could be done. Is that now completely 100% off the table?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's a major development here. Now, to make that decision, did you talk to the people that had broached the subject in the past? Stephen Bronfman and his ensemble that was trying to bring a baseball team back here over the years. Did you have any discussions with them saying, hey, we want to take the baseball stadium off the table? Was there any discussion?
Well, when we develop a plan as a federal entity, our obligation is to really work with all the different stakeholders. So, we worked with more than 70 different organizations and experts in developing the strategy. We met and worked with a number of community organizations, the City of Montreal. So we aimed in our projects to really represent the ensemble of different interests in a redevelopment. So here we listen to all the parties and we proposed a plan that makes sense based on all the different needs of the community. So a baseball stadium is not part of that. But there are a lot of other good things we're offering for the community here.
So let's just touch upon that, because as I look at some of the renderings and designs that have been unveiled from the Canada Lands Company, I see a lot of water access. And this is for an island. It's kind of embarrassing how little water access we have. So can you dive into that? Pardon the pun. Was that a focus for this development, getting Montrealers water access?
It really is. Well, first of all, the history of that area is all about the Lachine Canal, which is really like at the core of economic development in this country, going back almost 200 years. So water's always been a part of that place. And so we wanted to bring water in and really make a neighborhood that's defined by having water. So you see there's small canals that all throughout, you get this large basin that's almost 50,000 square feet that's naturalized with a beach. You get, and all of that is part of a natural system also to manage rainwater, because, with climate change, there's heavier rain events. So we have to plan also on how we manage rainwater in a way that's more sustainable and helps to increase biodiversity. So water plays a number of roles. It makes a more interesting neighborhood. It makes a more beautiful neighborhood. It gives us a way to manage rain events, which we know are getting more intense. And it gives us this ability to connect and swim in, an artificial lake, if you will, but a naturalized lake in the middle of the city.
Well, certainly is one of those prime pieces of real estate in this city, so close to downtown. So many possibilities lie ahead. Christopher, thanks so much for sharing a bit of the vision.
You're welcome.
Christopher Sweetnam-Holmes is from the Canada Lands Company, a federal crown corporation.